So Emily and I have both been on assignments in mass shooting situations before for ABC. So when we got this assignment to go down to Parkland, that was sort of in the back of our minds, the questions that we had left each of those situations with. You know, what happens the next day? What does the next week and month look like for a family and for a community? So, you know, we went down, we met this incredible group of kids and families, and you know, as soon as we met them, we felt like there was something more we could do here, and they kept, you know, they kept the conversation alive. I was with the last survivor to leave the hospital, and it was just sort of this insight into, you know, the trauma and the impact stays months, years, forever after something like this. So I think that's something that we learned and we knew going into this, and had those questions in mind.
At first I wasn't very aware at that time in my life. I was just going through the motions. I was in a lot of shock. So I kind of ended up here participating. And then as time went on, I really understood that it was a very important role that I had to take to give insight to these other people and inspire them to keep pushing through whatever they're going through, to really try to step into our shoes and understand this pain, and that it's not just policies we're going after. You know, these are people that are really hurting and suffering, and people need to know that in order to take correct action.
Well, I trusted Emily and Jake right away. They were very respectful, and they liked the way that they were asking me questions and making sure that at any point, at any time, I could not answer or step away. And I think it is a very important story to share. All of us have very unique stories that somehow all tie in to one another, and I think it's a really important film for everyone to see.
One of our first interviews was actually with Sam, and it's a distinct interview I don't think we will ever be able to forget. He was incredibly articulate in detailing for us what it was like to be on lockdown in that classroom, and then minutes later realizing that his little brother was 2 floors up, and in a classroom that was under attack. And I remember how he was able to give us those details, but at the same time retelling for us kind of the long view and what it all meant for him and his life and his family and his community. And at the end of that interview, I remember us looking at each other and just feeling as if the air had been knocked out of our lungs. And we really felt at that point inspired to continue following these families as they put one foot forward after another in an effort to rebuild.
I personally don't think anybody's ever going to be comfortable with it, because we're all on TV, but not for reasons we want to be. So it's never going to be comfortable for anybody. But we all know that us being on TV and us keep talking about it and keep speaking about it is going to cause change and cause people to realize that it's still happening and it's still affecting people till this day, and it's going to keep affecting us until we pass. It's going to be in our minds forever, so we're going to keep talking about it.
Even from the beginning, like, whenever there be somebody asking to, like, hear what I have to say or do an interview or whatever, just everything was kind of an opportunity for me to help make change, or us make change. You know, whenever we did that, we don't like talking about it. Like, it's helpful, I guess, in ways talking about it, but you know, none of us want to be here, but we have to be here. And like I said, grieving came with talking, but we just talked for change. You know, there's no better objective that we could be devoting our time to.